Are you ready for some football?
I'm ready for some football!
Football, yeah!
No, shut up!
Eyeshield 21, everybody.
Sold me, you sold me down the river now. I hope you're feeling happy now. Now you always have a sneer in your smile. But wake up, baby, you're so totally deluded. You'll end up old and lonely if you don't get a bullet in your head.
Hello, I'm Pluto Burns.
And I'm Jay Masterson. You know what the world needs more of?
Peace and freedom?
No. The world needs more football!
Well, you know what Japan doesn't have a lot of?
Football.
Correctamundo! So before the Super Bowl this year, we're spotlighting a manga about football.
Wait, what the hell does Japan know about football?
About as much as Americans know about rugby. In fact, it's a running gag in this manga that people keep mistaking the football club for the rugby club.
Do they have a league?
They do, but it's not a pro league. So this chart of football teams that compete at the high school level in this manga, ever so slightly exaggerated.
And we ain't calling it American football in this review.
We know that football means something else in most other countries, including Japan.
But we're Americans, so deal with it, Jelani bastards.
Now don't expect a full summation of this manga, as it is exceedingly long. 333 chapters.
Of awesomeness.
But it's not like it's a complicated epic tale of woe and strife. Sena is a wimp, he gets roped into being the running back on his high school's football team, he makes friends, the team grows, and they go on to play at the Christmas Bowl, the ultimate challenge of football in Japan.
It ain't a complicated tale. The devil's in the details, such as this scary looking ass.
That demonic creature was the Demon Devil Bat's quarterback, and his design is not just for looks.
The only reason this team exists in the first place is because he blackmailed anyone who tried to get in the way of the team's creation. Like a real man.
This is Hiroma Yoichi. I like to call him Devil Dude, or DD for short. Now, Demon Prince Kickass is without a doubt the best character in this manga. And I'm not just saying that because he's a complete lunatic. He brings most of the fun into this manga. If you took this character out, almost every bit of humor would disappear with him. Hiroma alone makes this manga worth reading. And his plans just continue to get more and more insane until you have to stop reading because you're laughing so hard. Now, what makes Son of the Joker here so amazing besides his insanity? Well, for one, like the great Deadpool, he has the ability to just summon guns and other shit into his hands via use of the magical satchel technique. He does keep his vast array of armaments in a rather large duffel bag, but they just seem to appear in his hands, and with them, he intimidates, motivates his totally not forced teammates to continue their training. And if you're wondering why I say not forced teammates, well, that's because he has a little black book where he keeps blackmail information on every single person he meets. Now, while he is blackmailing high-ranking government officials, he's not forcing his teammates to play for them.
Forcing, such an ugly word. Encouraging, incentivizing. No, you're right, let's go with forcing.
Most of them. Early in the manga, he had to get volunteers to fill out most of the positions. Even by the end of the manga, a few spots are still being filled by people from other sports clubs.
But when they do get more teammates, they keep getting idiot savants.
What the fuck is that?
It means they're really good at one aspect of football and nothing else.
Oh, spot on, gent.
Almost everyone on this team utterly fails at anything but their assigned position.
Founding member Kurita is one of the best linebackers in the nation, as well as being the butt of every fat joke ever.
But the one time he goes to make an interception, he tries to give the ball a full-strength bear hug.
Manta is an extremely good catcher, having spent most of his life chasing down baseballs.
But he also is so epically bad at throwing that he manages to hit people in the opposite direction of where he was trying to aim.
Even the main character Sena is probably way too small and weak to seriously consider football as a sport.
Sena is capable of running, like, as fast as human beings are capable of.
He joined a sports team in high school because he was looking to be less of a wimp. But unfortunately, years of running errands for bullies has ingrained a strong wimp instinct. But it also gave him really, really good legs. Which brings us into a discussion of how realistic this manga is.
Surprisingly so.
The manga makes heavy use of magic bag logic, especially with Devil Dude and his cache of weapons.
I better use my little bag of tricks.
But on the field, Eyeshield makes a real effort to be realistic. Even though Sena can run as fast as literally humanly possible, he can't do it for long and he still gets tackled.
Because just 'cause you can run fast doesn't mean you can run past 5 meat shields standing in front of you. And just 'cause you got sticky monkey fingers doesn't mean that someone with long arms or a bigger body mass can't knock the ball away, or just knock you out.
Like any good shonen, the various teams have their gimmicks and star players with specialty plays and skills substituting in for powers.
And even with the progression of power that has to happen, it never gets completely unreasonable. An earlier guy's gimmick is really long arms, but the final boss team doesn't have anything stupidly more powerful than that. They've got a guy who's really good at making low catches, and a guy who's really good at running along the line without getting out of bounds.
The one place where they fudge the physics the most is in the strength of the linebackers.
Kurita is really strong despite eating so much food that he currently resembles a popham.
Off the field, he is shown being capable of crushing cars with his bear hugs, and he's still in high school. Now, to balance this out, the manga acknowledges that just strength alone isn't all there is to being a lineman, but Kurita's overwhelming pancake power still is a great asset to the team.
He's also not the only high schooler this strong. The Taio Sphinx's whole gimmick is an unbreakable line. And this is the American team that they play in an exhibition match.
This is how Americans act.
This exhibition match was a pretty massive plot point for the manga.
Devil Dude trolls the hell out of the American captain with a very insulting video about his manliness. The captain, who is like super racist, agrees to have a match with the Yellow Monkeys, where the loser has to leave their home nation for a while.
The captain is so racist, he almost refuses to let Panther play in the game, even though he's the only person in the story who is faster than Sena, because black people win all the gold medals.
And their trek across America is when they get their last teammate and go through a horrifically intense training regimen where they push a truck from Texas to Las Vegas.
Which gives Devil Dude the chance to make them a king's ransom at the blackjack table using his massive brain.
And then they go back to Japan and they enter the Japanese tournament, and the plot just stays there for the rest of the manga. So let's talk about Sena.
He shits all over Ryoma.
Sena starts out as a total wimp, and he stays one for a surprisingly big chunk of the manga.
He gets roped in by Devil Dude's tricks, but stays because DD and Kurita legitimately want to win the Christmas tournament.
Kurita especially has a lot emotionally invested in winning the tournament.
But from the beginning, Sena's main goal on the field is not to get smashed into the ground by man-meat. Getting touchdowns is simply secondary to him.
But his mindset starts to shift when he confronts Shin, the running back of the White Knights. Shin is a much better, more all-around sportsman who is not only very fast, but quite strong with his patented spear tackle.
Which isn't what that actually means. What Shin did here is not a spear tackle. A spear tackle is when a player lifts another off the ground and then drops them on their back, neck, or head. What Shin did is a push and nothing more. But it's obvious the author called it a spear tackle because everyone needs a gimmick. White Knights, thrusting lance, spear, it all makes sense.
But Sena is faster than Shin by a bit, and it awakens in him his competitive spirit, and we get to watch him grow from a sniveling wimp into a true hero for his team.
It's called a character arc. He never becomes a manly, outgoing pimp, but he does become a much more confident member of the team. He grows and is a generally nice person. In other words, the exact opposite of the Prince bitch of tennis.
Thank you.
No! Get out! You interrupting bastard.
I thought we searched him for weapons.
The title refers to Sena's number and the eye shield he wears as part of another one of Hiruma's ploys. He created a giant lie about how Eyeshield 21 is the legendary prodigy who studied football at Notre Dame.
Which is stupid, as you can't study at Notre Dame when you're in high school.
It doesn't really matter. Most people don't really buy the lie anyway, especially considering how small-looking Sena is. But it's still fun to watch people be utterly shocked at how fast he is.
Our favorite was the look of shock on the American team's quarterback when Sena goes in for a blitz.
Meep meep.
The manga is pretty funnily inconsistent about whether the teammates recognize Sena through his mask.
Most of the dumber teammates never catch on.
With the notable exception of Manta. Manta is never considered super bright, but he spots it almost immediately.
Sena comes out to practice and talks to Manta with his stupid Eyeshield voice.
Hey Manta, let's practice hard.
Sena, what the hell are you doing?
I'm not Sena, I'm Eyeshield 21.
Why the hell are you wearing that uniform? Probably the last person to catch on is Momori, the team manager, and big sister figure to Sena.
She's sort of the opposite inverse of Hiruma, same level of insane capability, including blocking bullets with her broom handle, but actually nice.
And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, she's actually pretty cute.
Don't judge me!
I ain't judging.
There's only about 3 female characters in this manga. Momori, Taki the cheer captain, and a girl who is quarterback of one team. Apart from that, nothing but a never-ending string of cosplaying cheerleaders.
Which points to something at the very core of this manga. It is one of the purest boy stories that I have ever read.
This whole manga is about boys becoming men on the field of battle as they strive for their boyhood dreams. But unlike most stories that are for men, this one is so innocent about it. They are boys playing their game, but it means so much to them that you can't help but get roped up in their emotions. Eyeshield is so laser focused on being for one demographic that it swings back around to being accessible for everyone.
Which brings us to our recommendation.
Eyeshield is amazing!
It's gorgeously drawn with creative character designs that are free to veer into the inhuman for comedic effect. The matches are gloriously realized with a great sense of place on the field. And even with the match-by-match format, the stories flow together really well, making this a zippy read.
And aside from Hiruma making this an enjoyable comedy, this is the only realistic American football manga out there right now. The biggest thing about this manga is it's spot on when it comes to the actual games. There are a few moments where an obvious penalty occurs, but no flag is thrown. But it's easy to let that slide for dramatic purposes, and there are even several real-life football stars and events mentioned in the series. All in all, this is hands down the best sports manga I've ever read, and my standards tend to be pretty damn high.
The author for this manga is Inagaki Richiro, who has done nothing else of note. The artist,
Formerly known as Prince,
is Murata Yusuke, who has worked on several other projects, including One Punch Man. Thank you all for watching, and good luck to whoever's in the Super Bowl.
you don't know that?
I don't really care about football.